Welcome back to the show, everyone. It's a fine day for motor car racing.
It is. Tony Morris Jr. is joining us now, and well, he's brought his car. He's on his way to the Edmonton Grand Prix, and to tell us all about what he does. How are you, Tony?
I'm very good, thank you.
Going back as the reigning champion, it's important to
very proud
point
of that.
out.
Very, very proud of that. So,
Nice.
yeah, we won the race last year with Proformance Racing and Finning, and Finning's been nice enough to give me another chance this year, along with Proformance, and we're going to go try to do it again.
Tell us about the race.
Yeah.
How far? How fast? What do you do?
Well, for those people who ever came down to the Vancouver Indy, God rest its.
Yeah.
In 04 was our last time there, but the SCCBC Invitational, which was a race put on by the Sports Car Club for local racers, they basically take that same concept and took it up to Edmonton, and the group up there, the North Albertan Sports Car Club, they put on the same event along with the Edmonton Grand Prix, and we traveled all up there last year, and it's about 60 cars in the race, just a variety of cars from A to Z, including even some vintage cars, if you can believe that.
Really?
So it makes for some interesting footage, needless to say, for my in-car camera.
You gotta, on a lot of different levels, you guys aren't making millions of dollars in sponsorship, everything else. So this is not a cheap sport to play in.
No, it's not, and it's thankful to companies like Finning who can jump on board and help us out, and we got these amazing guys that work on the crew these guys really, you hear it all the time. It's a big speech, and you hear NASCAR watch, the crew really worked hard, but you'd be absolutely
When you
amazed.
watch those guys, it's incredible what they do.
And you see us wearing like our racing suits and stuff like that. These guys are just like sweating their.
Okay, tell us about your
Sweating
ride.
there,
Tell us
sorry.
about this car.
Well, this is a Chevy Monte Carlo. If you look at it, it looks kind of like a car that you would see on an Excel Cup or a Sprint Cup race on TV.
Yeah.
But these cars were actually designed to do corporate days. So companies, let's say Shaw was to bring out a bunch of guests or otherwise to the track, maybe even you guys.
Let's say Shaw was to bring a bunch of people out to the track, say us guys.
Look
A
out.
little sales pitch here.
This is what we would drive.
You actually would drive this. If you look closely inside, it actually has two seats. It has a passenger seat as well, and whether that's riding along with one of us driving, or for that matter, driving yourself with one of us hanging on for dear life.
I'm always surprised how bare bones these are on the inside. Is that for weight or is it power or what?
It's definitely for weight. Functionally speaking, you don't really need a bunch of the accessories and otherwise that you have in your normal car. I mean, they only run on the racetrack, so you don't need really much in the way of insulation. So it's basically kind of sheet aluminum and metal bars, and this is a fiberglass body over top of it.
Yeah.
It's got a 350 horsepower V8 motor and a 4-speed transmission.
Oh,
So what are your
Moving.
top speeds in this?
Probably around 150 miles an hour.
And how do you prepare for a race? I mean, we're looking at it as bare bones. You've got your lovely fire retardant suit over there. You've got your helmet. It must get pretty hot in there.
Yeah, it gets pretty hot. Probably in the neighborhood of about 130 degrees inside. Yeah.
Well, why don't you just turn on the AC? I mean, what's wrong with you?
It gets hot, and you know what really gets hot are your feet.
Really?
Yeah, because the transmission,
Right
if
by
you look
you.
at the transmission's right there, the heat from the transmission, and the engine is right in, all it has between you is a sheet of aluminum.
So as an athlete driving a car like this, how do you prepare yourself for that? Because 130 degree heat, you have to be just so prepared for anything to happen.
What I usually do is within a month at least of the race. I mean, I go to the gym fairly often anyways, but I'll start ramping up my cardiovascular and trying to get like a full hour, because the race is an hour long, and I'll try to simulate as much as I can that hour of,
People don't realize the conditioning that's necessary to participate in a race like that.
Yeah, and I mean, there's some race car drivers out there that, that probably don't take it as seriously as others. I mean, when you get in the top echelon of motorsports, those guys are incredible, pure athletes.
Well, not all racers have a beautiful cup to take around with them as they go.
Precisely.
You've literally, in a lot of ways, been born into the idea of racing, cars, performance, all those kind of things.
Yeah, I'm pretty lucky. My father raced for 35 years, so I'm second generation. So I literally grew up at the track as a wee lad.
As a wee lad.
As a wee lad, but I'm very, very lucky to get to do this, and I actually kind of do this for a full-time job. I'm actually a professional driver, so.
And whenever I see one of the races and you see the crashes that happen, first of all, super dangerous.
Scary.
You're still standing, scary. But how much money is at stake with a car like this if it happens to crash?
This car would be worth in the neighborhood of about $25,000 to $30,000. But, in the grand scheme of things, they're just cars. They can be replaced. So more importantly is us. But we take all the appropriate steps. Like we have the real high-end safety equipment. This helmet is probably in the neighborhood of about $2,000 with the flashy paint job.
And you've got your fire extinguisher in there. You've got your suit.
And the fire retardant suits and all these kind of things. So we really do take, precautionary steps. I also wear what's called the Hans device, which is kind of a latch that holds your head from going forward.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then on top of that, in the car, you've got, these aren't your typical 3-point, harnesses like you would see in a regular car.
Won't find these in a smart car.
These are proper 5-point racing harnesses. So, and on top of that, like the organizers of the event and such, I mean, the races are really organized in a very professional and safe manner to give the competitors.
Are there words to describe how much fun it is? I mean, in a way, when you're out there and you're driving and you're in the zone and
winning.
When you're winning, I mean, when you're in front of the race, that must just be an incredible sensation.
Yeah, I've even said this ever since I started racing, that the race itself is probably the least fun of the entire experience, because when you're out there, I mean, you're being chased, and like at Edmonton last year, I was being chased by some pretty heavy horsepower cars. So it's like being chased through the forest. So you're just scrambling for all you're worth. So as far as fun goes, it's more. I mean, when I actually won the race, it was just this massive
focus during. Oh, it's fun with champagne.
It's unbelievable. But I mean, nonetheless, when you're actually out there driving and really going after trying to put the perfect laps together and playing a strategy out and otherwise, and when you're able to complete that and do that, it's
such a team effort.
It is an amazing experience.
Well, good luck, Tony. Tony is taking off to go to the Edmonton Grand Prix, hoping to get another one of these first place cups. I think you got a good chance there.
Yeah,
good luck.
My biggest fan, my grandma, who I'd like to say hi to. Hi, Grandma. Hi.
Hi, Grandma.
Hi, Grandma.
She's going to be watching. She's my biggest fan, and I'd like to do it again for her. So
very nice.
Absolutely.
Well, we look forward to hearing how it goes. And you know what? He really can help you have that experience as well. Morris Sport, they do all kinds of cool things.
And Proformance Racing. If you go to proformanceracing.com, you too can drive one of these cars. So
I want to. Sign me up.
We're going
to take a break, and when we return, Roman Danilo, funny man Roman Danilo, will be telling us what he's up to right after this. Don't go away.
I just want to borrow your flame retardant suit for a couple things. Just for a few hours. That's all I need him for.